Hi everyone, FPLMattDay here, and this is my wildcard video for Game Week 27, 28, 29, and onwards. Not long until Game Week 27, so I wanted to get this video out, just a day before deadline, so everyone could tune in and check this out, especially if you are planning on using your wildcard for this game week. Remember, with a wildcard, it is unlimited transfers. Still the same rules, 3 players per team like normal, but you can make as many transfers as you like without taking any points hits. I'm going to share screen and go straight into the wildcard. So I'm going to go player by player, position by position, and I'm going to go through the Game Week 27 wildcard team, what it's going to look like for Game Week 27. Then I'll show you what it looks like for Game Week 28, and then also for Game Week 29. Obviously, with this wildcard, the reason I think it's a good time to play it from this game week is to maximize these double game weeks coming up over the next few weeks. Before I start as well and just share screen, if you can please like this video, just take that 5 seconds of your time to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and get all of your comments in as well. And any questions you got, I'll reply to every single comment that comes in as well. And it's always appreciated, the support. I absolutely love to interact with everyone. But I'm going to present this screen now. I'm going to get into it. I'm really excited to show you this. Obviously, there's been a lot of wildcards out there. There's a lot of people, sharing their wildcard teams at the moment, and their wildcard thoughts. So may look quite similar to some others, but I've got a few other ideas, so hopefully that helps. I am actually using FPL Team as well for this, so credit to them. Where it says the cost of 20 points, that would not be the case if I hit the wildcard button on this team. It's just because I've taken all my players out on this app, and it switches my team out. So this is what a wildcard template I like would look like if I was playing my wildcard this week. And looking at this team, it's making me want to do it anyway. So this is the wildcard I really, really like. So in goal, David Raya for Brentford. He's in the top 3 goal scoring keepers of this season. Absolutely phenomenal year so far. These 2 fixtures in Game Week 27, Everton away, Southampton away. There is potential for save points, clean sheets as well. Brentford have been on an unbelievable run. I think it's now, is it 12 games without a defeat? Phenomenal stuff. Always on the BPS. Plays in Game Week 28, doubles in Game Week 29. So he is the best goalkeeper, in my opinion, for that number 1 shirt. So let's go down into the defense and let's reveal my 3 defenders that I would be playing this week in Game Week 27. And it's going to be Estupiñán with the Leeds away and the Palace home game. So he has a double game week. We know how well he's been playing of late. And also, okay, he misses Game Week 28, but he does double, as you can see there in Game Week 29. So that is Estupiñán from Brighton. So he is a really, really good pick, in my opinion. Gets forward, always gets the BPS. And FPL Roo, for those that know him, was on one of my streams the other day, and he did mention it gets subbed quite early as well. So he does tend to get subbed between the 60th and 70th minute, and Brighton have usually banked a clean sheet by then. So Estupiñán is a very good option. And then we've got Kieran Trippier, ever present. Wolves at home this week. Plays in Game Week 28 and doubles in Game Week 29. And then alongside him there, Ben Mee, another really high top scoring defender this season, loves a goal from a set piece. Everton away and Southampton away in this double. Plays in Game Week 28 and also doubles in Game Week 29. So let's go down to the midfield. I think there was just a sneak peek in the midfield then as I was flicking between the tabs. But let's get this up now. So let's just zoom it back out. And as you can see, there's a midfield 4 for this week. And on the far side, Marcus Rashford, ever present. Doesn't play in Game Week 28, but you have to have him in this game against Southampton. Scored again in the week against Real Betis in the Europa League. Plays in Game Week 29, 2 games. So he's going to be a captain option in Game Week 29. Alongside him there, Solly March. It was between him and Alexis McAllister. McAllister might edge it because of his pens. But I've kept Solly March just because He tends to go through these purple patches of form of scoring goals. So I've kept Solly March for now, but it could be either him or Alexis McAllister in that position. It's all about personal preference. He's got the leads and the Palace game, just like obviously Estupiñán. Doesn't play in game week 28, but doubles in game week 29. Then alongside him, I've kept Saka in this lineup. You'll see there's a captain's armband for game week 27 on him. That wouldn't be the case if I was playing this wildcard team. I'd probably captain either Mitoma or another player, which I will reveal very shortly in my strikers. Captain's armband just stayed on him because I went and put my team through this app, and he still had the captain's armband from last week. But Saka, I think, because he's got the Fulham game, still worth having him for this game week. Plays in game week 28 at home to Palace and becomes a captain option. Then on the far side, you can see Mitoma, absolutely on fire for Brighton. Double-digit score last week. Very, very cheap. Again, blanks in game week 28, like all the Brighton assets, but doubles in game week 29. So an absolute no-brainer to have Mitoma in our squads. So let's go to the front three. And as you can see there, I've kept Harry Kane. And the bigger mission is Erling Haaland. And I tell you what, it's hard to take out Haaland because he's got Palace away. Dangerous fixture to take him out for. I understand he can hit a hat-trick at any moment. Hasn't scored a hat-trick yet away from home. Obviously, he scored plenty at home. But I think Kane, he's been about 3 game weeks now without a goal. It's very unusual for him. I can imagine he bounces back, and hopefully scores again this weekend, which should then mitigate some of the points that Haaland will likely get against Palace. And because Haaland blanks in game week 28 and Kane doesn't, you should get more points from Harry Kane in the next 2 game weeks than what you would out of Haaland. There will be a move looking to take Kane out, which I will go through shortly when I go through game week 29 as well. So Kane stays. Tony's next to him. Obviously, we do not want him to get any more bookings. He's 2 bookings away from a 2-game ban, so we don't want that to happen. But he's got the double game week here in 27, plays in 28, and doubles in 29, which we'll go through shortly. And then on the far side, Ollie Watkins, West Ham away, struggling West Ham. He's got 5 returns in his last 6. He plays in game week 28, and he also doubles in game week 29. So let's go to the bench. Danny Ward, cheap and cheerful. Plays in game week 28. So does David Raya. Also doubles in game week 29, which I will go through shortly. There is a very good chip we can use in game week 29. Ben Chilwell, I was going to go in there. And I tell you what, I just look at Chelsea and I think, despite their poor form, they've still been able to keep it tight at the back. They've got so much quality there. They've had some 1-0, 0-0 types of games. We've seen Kepa get some incredible scores. And I'm looking at Ben Chilwell, if he stays fit and he gets both games in the league. I know there's Cucurella, but I just look at it and think, could be a good player for game week 28. And then you've got him for a double game week in 29. I know it's not the best double game week for Chilwell, but Villa at home, if Chelsea were to win that, they take some momentum. They then play Liverpool at home after. He might then get both games. On the flip side, if Chelsea lose the first game against Villa, they might rest him and then play Cucurella. I think Graham Potter will know that if they can beat Villa in the first game of double game week 29, they'll then keep the same team to try and beat Liverpool. Because they'll probably look to try and go on a run now after their impressive win in the week in the Champions League. But Leicester away this week is a good fixture, and then he does have the Everton home game in game week 28, which is a good fixture for him and Chelsea. Despite their form, I think they will start to pick up some better results. And then I've got Luke Shaw there, Southampton at home this week. It's so hard to just take him out of the lineup. It's between him and Trippier, really. There's not much else you can do. The only other thing you could do is gamble on benching Saka away at Fulham, but he does take pens, and you can just stick Shaw on the bench. Because even this is potentially bench boost material as well as a single game week. That's how good this wildcard team looks. And then on the far side, James Maddison plays in game week 28, doubles in game week 29. And we know how good he can be when he's scoring goals, playing games. Obviously, when he's scoring goals is when he's really good. But when he's playing games, when he's fit and he's got the fixtures, he is absolutely phenomenal in that Leicester team. So he is in there for me. So this is my wildcard draft that I think is a really good wildcard if you're looking to play it here in game week 27. So you've got David Raya, Estupiñán, Kieran Trippier, Ben Mee in defence there. Rashford, March, Saka, Matoma, Kane, Tony, Watkins, Ward, Chilwell, Shaw, and Maddison. So that is game week 27. Let's scroll up and show you what that would look like in game week 28. And I'll show you a couple of transfers. By the way, there's 5 million in the bank for my team if I make these moves and if I have this wild card. For other teams who are doing well with more in the bank, they've probably got even more change left over. You're going to need to keep that, though, because you're going to need to look at bringing Haaland back, which I'll go through very shortly. If you look here, it looks a little bit bare for game week 28, but what you would just do here is SG Panan will come out. Solly, March, or Rashford or Matoma will come out. You can choose between Raya or Ward. You're probably going to play Raya. So as you can see here, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players for double game week 29. That isn't bad going. That is not bad going at all. What you can do, for game week 28. For game week 28, you've got 9 players. So yeah, you can play either with 9. It's probably not the worst idea to kind of go in and just play with 9 men in this week, in my opinion. I don't think there's any of these players you kind of want to move on. You captain Saka in that Crystal Palace home game. You could potentially captain Kane. You could captain Tony. You could captain Watkins. There's plenty of good options. I think you'll get away with playing with 9 men. I think you will, based on people that have already acted their wild cards as well. I don't think there'll be many free hits for this game week, so I think you'll get away with it. So that is game week 28. And then game week 29, which is then the double game week, which is why you would be building this wild card. Has a predicted points error 94 with this lineup. But let's see if it lets me click the bench boost, which it does. So with a bench boost, this has got a predicted points of 130. But this isn't going to be the exact team for game week 29 that I'm thinking. If you use this wild card that I've picked, you do this, in my opinion. Saka goes out. You go to Manchester United here. Bruno Fernandes comes in. And then you look down here and you think, I think you can get away with getting rid of Harry Kane, even though it's Everton away. And you can go and take your pick. You've got either Danny Ings, Southampton home and Newcastle home. 2 home games. Look, Newcastle's a tough game. But West Ham need goals. They need to survive. You're getting 2 home games. He does tend to be a bit injury prone, but he's still a very good option. Or if you want to go a little bit more left field, Danny Ings can leave your side and you can go with Brennan Johnson. Wolves home, Leeds away. And you get an extra couple of points there on the predicted points at the top. So it's 145 points. So that is what your team would look like in game week 29. I think that's brilliant. It's starting to tempt me to use my wild card for this. Because if you have a look here, I think it may say at the top, I was planning ahead. It did say on the other screen, I was effectively making 6 transfers for the initial wild card. So this could be very good. And obviously in this game week, you can captain Bruno, Maddison, Rashford, even Matoma with those fixtures. There's plenty of good players to captain. And obviously with injuries, bans, and all pending that, your bench boosting, there's so much potential here. So much potential indeed. And then if you go back, we'll go forward one more to game week 30 because you've got to see what it looks like then. You still got a cracking set of fixtures here. Luke Shaw comes back in. Oh, who do you even want to bench? It's very tough to pick, isn't it? Maybe you'd say, look, I've already doubled up on the defence for Brentford. So we'll go there with Shaw. But then you might want to play Ward instead of Raya. So you might, you hope Newcastle score in game week 20, game week 30. Newcastle did beat them 5-0 in the reverse fixture, I think it was, or 5-1. And then you can play that bench. And here we go. Johnson comes out. You got 15.2 million in the bank. Manchester City, Haaland, Southampton away. Done. That is your team for game week 30. So let me know what you think. That is my FPL game week 27 wildcard team that will set you up for game weeks 27, 28, 29, and even game week 30. When you have a look at this, you're still ending up with an absolutely brilliant team. So let me know what you think in the comments. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed what you saw, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And yeah, like I said, any questions, get them in. Any comments, I reply to everyone. I love to engage with everyone that supports the channel. But look, I will leave it there. I'm FPLMattDay. Best of luck for game week 27 and onwards, and I will see you all in the next one.